chicken feet crackers. I don't know if anyone's ever made these before. I couldn't find any recipes from other folks on YouTube, and I made some chicken foot stock earlier today with these beautiful chicken feet. And I don't know if you can see, but they've actually gotten really almost, very gelatinous. The bones feel really soft. I can almost get down to them with my fingers without trying very hard. You can see there's a lot of this stuff that will come off these bones. You see that? So what I'm going to try to do today is I'm going to use all this stuff from the bones. I'm going to take it off the bones. I'm going to add it to my blender using an immersion blender. I'm going to blend it with some chicken stock, mix it with flour, and roll it out and try to bake it and turn it into crackers. So bear with me while I spend a bunch of time separating the bones from, the skin and the cartilage of these little chicken feet. So I'm gonna dump this out. If I get a couple small pieces of bone in there, I'm gonna see if I can just blend them up and see how it'll work out. For my extra little bones, I'm just gonna dump them in there. So you can see with these chicken feet, I've kind of got, I can kind of just pull the stuff right off. And clean it off the bones. And just add this into my mixture. Interesting process. The yield is a little lower than I thought it might be. But I'm just feeling this texture in my hands, and I think this is gonna have actually a lot of almost binding power. Do I want that really hard to eat piece of cartilage right here? I don't think so. But all this other stuff, I'm gonna toss in. Also, these cooked onions. Let's try to use some of our cooking scraps that are always discarded, but I don't know that they really have to be. There is a lot of flavor that's gonna get lost. That being said, why not try to make some crackers at home using this strange skin? And chicken foot crackers sound fun to me. The only other time I've tried to make crackers was at Blackberry Farm when I was an extra in there. And I was working with my station partner at the time, Fox. This kid's an amazing cook. By the way, if Fox were making these chicken feet, I don't know if you can see, but this place will already cut off the fingernails for you. But if my man Fox was making these chicken feet crackers, he would 100% use all the cartilage. He would probably grind up the bones, and he'd be upset that they took off the fingernails from these guys, because he would definitely make some fingernail chicken feet fingernail crackers. That's just the kind of weirdo he is. So again, I'm not worried about getting all this stuff out. There's a lot of this skin and kind of fat in the palms of these chicken feet. And you can see I'm just gonna pull that stuff right off. It's got a weird, now that these have kind of cooled down, it's got a strange kind of stickiness to it with the texture. Interesting. Some more onions, some more chicken feet. I was saying palms of the chicken feet earlier, but I guess they'd more be like soles of the chicken feet. If this whole process doesn't sound good to you, I understand that. And I don't think, based on my first time that I made crackers and they came out horribly with my buddy Fox. Fox makes good crackers, but he just kind of gave me this set of instructions, which were, you know, use enough water to make a cracker dough, which is so unhelpful, you know, especially when you're making it for the first time. That being said, sometimes it's important to know intuitively what the consistency of that dough should be, especially when you're talking about, you know, difference between breads and crackers and moisture levels and ingredients and all that. These are going to be some cool, you know, even if it doesn't work out, what a fun way to use some of your product that normally this would just go right in the garbage, you know. And not a lot of people at home use the chicken feet that much, but it makes for such a collagen heavy. I don't know if you can see my homemade stock here in the bottom right hand side, but it makes for beautiful stock that has a ton of collagen in it. Sometimes I'll reduce that stock down. I'll make like a souped up chicken glass, and then I'll either freeze that in little cubes where each cube is so concentrated in flavor and intense that I can just use one cube and, you know, heat that up on the stove, maybe drop in a little bit of a cornstarch slurry or something, and I've got an amazing pan sauce, you know. And I'm kind of surprised they don't sell stuff like that in grocery stores, because I would love that. You can see most of this meat, this kind of usable stuff, comes right from here in the sole of the foot, down the back of the leg. It almost feels like picking like crab meat, you know, where you're not getting a ton of yield, but you're just kind of going for it and working with it. Again, I'm not getting everything off these feet, partially because I'm not going for 100% utilization like Fox would definitely be going for 100% utilization. I wonder what my wife would think of these crackers. She might be a little weirded out, but I think she would be very supportive. She's very supportive. And what fun, you know, if you're not trying something new, try something new. It's good for you. Keeps you young. It's fun. And in the kitchen, when you're cooking by yourself, no one's looking over your shoulder. Like, if these crackers come out terrible, I'll still publish them. I'll still publish this video. Just because I'm not afraid to show you guys my mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. Everyone makes mistakes all the time. That's okay. Great. Got this little bay leaf. I'm gonna throw that in the discard pile. I got some more onions, and you know what? I'm gonna toss these onions into my blended mixture. And you might think this is gross, and that's totally okay. Guys, we're gonna see how this works out, see how it tastes, and go from there. I'm gonna give my hands a quick wash. Perfect. I'm gonna get rid of my cutting board. Into my mixture right here. This is all the cartilage and skin mixed with the onion from my chicken foot stock. I'm gonna add, water until it's about like almost covered, and I'm just adding that water in to help me with this blended chicken skin and cartilage process. scoop these little bits down here using my spoon, just so I can get those blended up as well. I can see I got a little bone in there, and guys and girls, we are just gonna try this out. It's gonna be fun. Normally you would add, let's say you're making a regular cracker with just water and flour and no leavener, and maybe you like top it with a little seasoning or salt at the end. Normally you'd use 1 cup of flour, let's say, and then about half that amount of liquid. So if you're using 1 cup of flour, you do half a cup of water. You mix that together, you roll it out fine, and what you have is crackers once they're baked, hopefully. In this case, yeah, I probably added half a cup of nice chicken stock here instead of water. I'm gonna blend this up. Watt blender, immersion blender. This thing that's kind of a standard wattage out here for these stick blenders, but it's so powerful. You can just see how right there we made a beautiful weird, almost a puree. You can see it. It's almost like it smells amazing. Guys, this smells incredible. Ah, love it. Let's see. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt to this base right here. Just a little pinch or two. What I'm then gonna do is add in some of my flour. Get rid of these chicken bones. Add in some of my flour over here to my bowl. And yes, I'm being very bad. I'm not measuring any of this. I'd say that's about a cup of flour. I'm gonna leave my flour out because later I'm gonna use this. This is just white all-purpose flour. How do you know that? I'm gonna leave that flour out because eventually, once I add my liquid and kind of mix this together, I am going to flour my surface and roll this out. I don't have a rolling pin, but I do have a wine bottle, and that's what we're gonna do. So bear with me here while I go ahead and clean up my surface a little bit that I'm gonna be rolling my crackers out on. Make sure it's nice and dry. Beautiful. And let's go ahead and mix this up together. You can already tell this is on like the wetter side for crackers. I don't know if you can see it. I want this to be almost a drier little dough ball. I'm adding in more flour. We're definitely going by feel for this recipe, and I apologize. I apologize for not providing specific instructions, but this is my first time doing this, everybody, so it's probably not gonna... I'd say my chances of success right now with this are gonna be, like, to have it actually come out like I want it to come out, like a 2% chance, you know? You can see I'm starting to get a stiffer dough here as I mix in this flour, and it's starting to stick together a little bit like when you're making fresh pasta in a bowl or on the counter, and you can see it. The one thing I know is right now, you can see how sticky this is. If I try to roll this out on the surface, it's not gonna be, I'm not gonna have success, and I know that based on how wet and sticky that looks. You want this to be drier than a bread dough, right? Almost to the point where you think it's too dry. Again, sticky. I stuck my finger in there. What a sticky mess. God, we're gonna be making a lot of crackers here. A few more crackers than I initially intended. How's this feeling? You can see now my finger's not sticking to it as much. Kind of push into it. It's not sticking together as much. So what I'm gonna try to do now is incorporate this a little with my hands. See if I can get it into one uniform bowl. One uniform ball, excuse me. Is this really coming together right now? I guess. Is it still sticky? Yes. Again, we're going by feel here. You can see I'm getting something that's more resembling a dough at this point. I'm kind of kneading it, which I'm not sure if that's the right approach. Do I want like gluten formation in these crackers? I guess. You know, I'm not a baking and pastry guy, so I apologize for that. Man, if we run out of flour and I can't even flour my work surface, I'm gonna be so disappointed in myself. You know, I'm starting to get something that is less sticky when it's thin, and I'm kind of envisioning as I roll this out. You know, if you've ever rolled out a pie crust that's a little too wet, and once it gets thin, it's a nightmare in terms of sticking to your rolling pin, sticking to your rolling surface, getting it off the surface. You know what? Guys, this isn't, I'm not sure how this is gonna work out. This is what I've got here. I'm gonna try to roll this out. I'm gonna try to put it on some parchment, stick it in the oven at about 400 degrees Fahrenheit. 400 degrees Fahrenheit, 200 degrees Celsius? About that. Maybe a little more than 200 degrees Celsius, like 210 or 205. And then I'm gonna cook them for maybe like 10 minutes and like keep an eye on them. And maybe they'll take a little longer than that. Maybe they take 15 minutes. I don't know about the consistency of this, but guys, that's why we're here. That's why we're trying. Let's go. All right, flour my surface. Cool. Where's my wine bottle? Here's my wine bottle. I'm gonna take a little bit of flour with my hand, stick it in here. I'm gonna go ahead and just I might keep a little flour here on the side. My dough is so big. I don't know, guys. Don't hate me if this doesn't work out. We're trying to make chicken feet crackers, you know? I don't know who's making chicken feet crackers, but cool. Keep this thing moving, you know? Flip it. You don't want like so much flour on there that it's, you know. Keep it moving. You know, if you feel it getting a little stuck to the surface, check it out. Just flip it over. I'm gonna try to flatten this out a little bit with my hands. Keep going with this. I wonder what this would, like, look at this. I wonder what this would taste like as the freaking, like, base for a pizza. Like, if I added some yeast into this, and I let it proof at room temperature. Oh my God, I think that would be so cool. Like a chicken foot pizza crust. Oh God, guys, that's a good idea. It's a nice idea right there. Look at this. This would be an amazing pizza. Come on. All right. You can see I still got some flour under there. I think I'm still doing okay. Man, I gotta make this thing so much thinner. Oh God. If it's not thin enough, I'm not gonna have a crunch to my cracker. I'm about to spill some flour on the floor. That's awesome. That's fine. I'll clean it up later. Get these out of here. Man, I need more space than I thought I needed. Oh God. All right. We're still alive. We're doing okay. Look at this, guys. A huge pizza, a chicken foot pizza right now. Oh. You can see I'm not, am I freaking out about the shaping of this? No, I'm just trying to work it so that I can fit it and get it thin enough. I feel it starting to stick a little bit to my surface underneath here. God, I made way too much crackers, guys. Still a little too thick. Just rock out here. God, look at this. Freaking insane. Breaking a little sweat, but having an awesome time. Look at this, is so cool. I got a little break right here. That's fine. Look at this. I got a little extra dough here. Bam. I used to make pizzas in Massachusetts for a little bit with this guy Jeremy. And if you ripped a little hole in your hand stretch pie, you use your pizza repair kit, which is just your hands to fold the pizza back together. All right, I'm gonna add a little salt to this baby. Nice little bit of salt. What else do I want to do? I'm gonna do a little cracked black pepper. We're gonna frickin' cook this up. See what's up. How's everyone feeling about this right now? Because I'm feeling weirdly like much more optimistic than I was before. Just because I had such a good time rolling that chicken foot cracker dough out. And I got really excited. So like that chicken foot pizza crust idea, I never, ever, ever would have even thought of that if I hadn't been right here trying to make chicken foot crackers for the first time. All right, nice dry hands. Let's get this out of here. Let's get this out of here. Let's get my parchment ready. I just got a sheet tray with some parchment. Whew, okay. All I'm gonna do is cut this. I'm gonna cut this up. I'm gonna trim a couple of these edges on the left-hand side here because they were a little thick and they were literally going into my sink. So all I'm gonna do is cut down here, cut it into strips. And then I'm gonna stick these strips onto my parchment. I got too many for my parchment. But as I said earlier, I I made way too much of this stuff. Look at this. This thing's freaking huge. God. Oh my God, I can't believe this is kind of, and again, with this edge here, this fat edge on the right-hand side, I'm gonna get rid of that. What shape do I want? Let's do little guys like this. I got a really small kitchen here in Spain, and I'm bumping up against my sink here on the left as I cut these crackers. How cool is this? It's working. I feel like it's working. The question is, are they gonna taste good? Are they gonna be crispy? Look at this. I'm gonna get rid of a couple of these edge ones that are a little thick for my liking. Plus, I don't have room on my parchment. So shit, let's go ahead. We're gonna try to put some of these onto my parchment. You can see I can pick them up nice. 1, 2. Ooh, it's a little stuck. 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm trying to leave a little bit of space in between these. My sheet tray here, it's a really low quality sheet tray. It's like, it's got the stamped edges. You know the really cheap sheet trays you get where you stick them in the oven at any temperature and they just like immediately buckle on you. It's kind of what I'm dealing with here. But guys, look. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna stick these in the oven at 400 degrees, cook them for 10 minutes. See what's up. Here they go. Close that up. And I'll come back to you when they're done cooking. All right. My chicken feet crackers have been cooking in the oven at 400 degrees for 205 Celsius for exactly 10 minutes. I can see they're not quite the coloration that I want them to be. And right now on my stove, you know, these are at about 200. I kind of want to keep them cooking at this temp for maybe another, you can see I'm getting a little brown on some of the thin edges. I'm gonna cook these for another 3 minutes. I'm gonna pull them out. Okay, so I've cooked these for about another 4.5 minutes. You can see I don't want these to be a dark golden brown, but I do want them to be cooked. I want them to be crispy. I kind of want them a light golden brown, and these look good to me. I'm gonna go ahead and try to pull them out. Guys, I think we had success. Look at this. Right? Look at this. Shit. So I'm gonna wait for these to cool. And then I'm gonna see, you know, they're still a little bit soft. But I think once these cool, they're actually gonna be nice and crispy once they dry off. So all I'm gonna do now, sorry, my whole setup here is a little messy. But all I'm gonna do is take these, I'm gonna put these crackers on a little plate. The smell in here right now, I wish I could describe to you. It's really freaking good. It's the best cracker baking smell I've ever experienced. It's like the chicken. You can really smell the fact that we use chicken feet. For this one, let's get a little different. I'm gonna do a little pimenton picante, spicy pimenton. It's got a little smoky flavor. We're in Spain. That's partly why I'm doing this, but also I think it's gonna go great with some of the flavors. And there's my second tray. It's ready to go. I got it set up while the other tray was baking. I'm gonna go ahead and stick that in. And this time, because I know they take 14.5 minutes, that's what I'm gonna set my timer to, and we'll take them out shortly. This is so cool. Hey everybody, these chicken feet crackers have been cooking for a little longer than my initial batch. They've been going for about 17 minutes, and they look perfect. And I'm gonna go ahead and pull them out. Let them dry off a little bit, let them cool down, and they should be nice and crispy. Right now in here, guys, it smells like I'm making a roasted turkey with pimenton, roasted chicken with pimenton. Do you hear what I'm saying? It's like, it smells so incredible in here. I've never had this smell. Well, and you can see these are my earlier crackers. I've never experienced this smell while making crackers ever. This is incredible. These look beautiful. The pimenton really, I love the pimenton on these. I still have a little bit more cracker dough to bake off, but I'm just trying to show you guys kind of what we're dealing with here. And with these earlier ones that have kind of, cooled down a little bit, there's a little extra flour here. That's fine. It shouldn't be on all of them. Yeah, there's a little extra flour. That's cool. You know what? These are incredible. It doesn't have a ton of chicken flavor, but you can tell that it's there. It's a little bit dry, but it's beautiful. Oh, this would be really cool as almost like the base for a crostini. Add whatever you want to it, like a little bruschetta crostini. They're great. I'm gonna let these cool down a little bit, but these are nice and crispy and crunchy. They're thin. You see that? I don't know. Awesome. I'm super excited. These came out successfully. Try it at home. What a cool use of scraps. It's fun to try something new. If anyone wants to use this, use it. I don't mind. Super fun. Super cool. Enjoy, everyone.